Most people kill their aloe by loving it too much. That may sound strange, but it is true. 6 months ago, my aloe looked terrible. The leaves were long, weak, drooping, and spreading everywhere. One viewer even called it octopus legs. It was pale, stretched out, and honestly a little embarrassing to look at. Today, that same plant looks completely different. The leaves are thick, upright, deep green, and healthy. It looks like the kind of aloe people stop and admire. So what changed? I stopped trying so hard. Today, I'm sharing 7 simple tips that transformed my struggling aloe into a plant I'm proud of. And tip number 5 is a $0 trick that can make a huge difference in almost any home. But first, let me tell you where I learned the biggest lesson. Years ago, my grandmother gave me her 20-year-old aloe plant. When she handed it to me, she said only one thing: "Don't love it too much." I didn't understand what she meant, so I did what many beginners do. I watered it every few days. I placed it in my sunniest window. I checked on it constantly. I thought more care would mean more growth. Within 2 months, it was gone. The leaves turned mushy. The base became brown. The roots rotted. The whole plant collapsed. That was the moment I learned the hardest truth about aloe. Sometimes, the more you do, the faster you kill it. My grandmother was right. If your aloe is struggling right now, I understand completely. I've made the same mistakes. But the good news is this plant is forgiving. And once you understand what it really wants, aloe becomes one of the easiest plants you will ever grow. Let's save your aloe starting right now. One of the biggest mistakes people make is placing aloe in the harshest, brightest window they can find. They assume more sun means a happier plant. Not always. Aloe loves bright light, but intense, direct sun for long periods can stress the leaves, especially indoors behind hot glass. That is when you start seeing brown edges, red stress coloring, or dry, crispy tips. Think of it this way. Bright, indirect light is often the sweet spot. A few feet back from a bright window can work beautifully. An east-facing window with gentle morning light is also excellent. And if your home does not get much natural light, do not panic. A simple grow light can work extremely well. Many healthy indoor aloes thrive under artificial light. Bonus tip: if your aloe starts leaning or stretching toward the light, rotate the pot every 2 weeks. Just turn it a quarter turn. This helps it grow straighter and more evenly. Tip number 2: watering less is more. This is where most aloe owners go wrong. They water too often. Aloe stores moisture inside its thick leaves, which means it is built to survive dry periods. It does not need constant watering like many tropical houseplants. The best method is simple. Water deeply, then wait. When you water, soak the soil until excess moisture drains from the bottom of the pot. After that, allow the soil to dry completely before watering again. That may take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even longer depending on the season and your home conditions. Use the finger test. Push your finger about 2 inches into the soil. If it feels dry, you can water. If there is still moisture, wait longer. And here is the golden rule. When in doubt, do not water. Aloe usually suffers more from too much love than too little attention. If you learn this one lesson alone, you can avoid the most common cause of aloe death. Tip number 3: use the right soil. If your aloe is planted in heavy soil, nothing else matters. Regular potting mix often holds too much water for succulents. That extra moisture can sit around the roots and slowly lead to rot. Aloe wants air around the roots and fast drainage. The easiest homemade mix is 2 parts regular potting soil, 1 part perlite. Perlite is the white, lightweight material often mixed into soil. It creates air pockets and helps water move through the pot faster. You can also skip mixing your own and buy a cactus or succulent blend. Those mixes are designed for plants that hate soggy roots. One thing to avoid: Soil from outside your yard. Garden soil is usually too dense for containers, may contain pests, and can compact over time. That makes it much harder for aloe roots to breathe. Quick test. Water your aloe and watch the surface. If water sits on top for more than a few seconds before soaking in, the mix may be too dense. That is a sign it may be time to repot. Tip number 4. The right pot matters. The container can help or hurt your aloe. My top recommendation is terracotta. Terracotta pots are porous, which means moisture can slowly escape through the walls of the pot. That gives you extra protection against overwatering. Plastic pots can still work, but they hold moisture longer. If you tend to water too often, terracotta is usually more forgiving. Now for the non-negotiable rule, your pot must have drainage holes. No matter how beautiful the container looks, if water cannot escape, roots can sit in moisture and rot. Size matters too. Choose a pot that is wider rather than much deeper. Aloe roots naturally spread outward more than downward. A pot that is too deep often holds unnecessary wet soil. Bonus tip. Love a decorative pot with no drainage? Keep the aloe in a smaller nursery pot with holes, then place that pot inside the decorative container. Style and function together. Tip number 5. Temperature. The $0 trick. This is the free trick I promised, and it costs absolutely nothing. Aloe likes comfortable temperatures. In most homes, if the room feels pleasant to you, it will usually feel pleasant to your plant too. The general sweet spot is normal indoor temperatures, not freezing cold and not extreme heat. Where people get into trouble is not temperature itself, but sudden drafts. That sunny window may be perfect in summer, but during winter, cold air leaking through the glass can shock the plant. The same problem happens near air conditioning vents in hot months. Constant blasts of cold or hot air create stress. Sometimes the solution is as simple as moving the pot a few feet. No fertilizer, no gadget, no expensive product, just a better location. Another important thing to know, aloe often slows down in winter. Growth becomes minimal and the plant may seem inactive. That does not mean it is dying. It is resting. During this period, water even less and allow the plant to stay on the dry side. My aloe transformation. Let me show you what happened when I finally understood this. 6 months ago, my aloe had drooping leaves, weak color, and that stretched octopus legs look. Then I made 4 simple changes. Moved it to bright, indirect light, watered only every few weeks, used a terracotta pot, stopped fussing over it constantly. That was it. No miracle product, no complicated schedule. Today, the same plant has thick, upright leaves, rich green color, and a strong, healthy shape. And the best part? My neighbor recently knocked on my door, pointed at it, and asked, "What's your secret?" The truth was simple. The less I did, the better it became. Tip number 6. Fertilizer. This is another area where doing less usually works better. Many houseplants need frequent feeding during the growing season. Aloe does not. In fact, too much fertilizer can damage it. Excess nutrients may cause brown tips, burnt edges, or weak, unnatural growth. For most aloe plants, feeding twice a year is enough. A simple schedule. Once in spring, once in early summer. Use a balanced liquid fertilizer at half strength, or choose one made for cactus and succulent plants. That is all most aloe needs. If you prefer a more natural option, you can use compost tea or a small amount of worm castings mixed into the top layer of soil once a year. But honestly, even if you skip fertilizer entirely, many aloes still grow well. That is one reason this plant is so beginner-friendly. Tip number 7. Learn to read the leaves. Your aloe tells you what it needs, you just have to know the signals. Wrinkled or thin leaves. The plant is using stored moisture and may be thirsty. Give it a deep watering if the soil is dry. Mushy, brown, or translucent leaves. Too much water. Roots may be stressed or rotting. Stop watering and inspect the soil. Red or brown tips and edges, often caused by too much direct sun or heat stress. Move it slightly away from harsh light. Pale green or yellowish color, usually a sign it wants more light. Move it closer to a bright location or use a grow light. Leaves falling outward or flopping. This can also indicate insufficient light. The plant is stretching toward brightness. Once you understand these signals, care becomes much easier. You stop guessing. You stop overreacting. And you give the plant what it actually needs instead of what you assume it needs. Bonus tip: make it stunning. If you want to take your aloe from simply healthy to truly impressive, try this once a year. Use compost tea or water infused with worm castings. Let it soak in water overnight, then use that liquid the next time you water your plant. It provides gentle nutrients and beneficial organic matter without the harsh effect of strong chemical feeding. Think of it as a yearly refresh for the plant. You do not need to do this often. Once a year is enough. Quick recap of the 7 tips. 1. Bright indirect light. Give strong light, but avoid harsh non-stop sun. 2. Water less, soak the soil, then let it dry fully before watering again. 3. Fast draining soil. Use cactus mix or add perlite for better airflow. 4. Use the right pot. Terracotta with drainage holes is ideal. 5. Keep temperatures stable. Avoid cold drafts and harsh vents. Sometimes moving the pot a few feet changes everything. 6. Fertilize lightly. Twice a year is usually enough. 7. Read the leaves. Your plant shows signs when it needs help. The big secret. The real lesson is not neglect. It is understanding that some plants thrive when you stop interfering so much. And aloe may be the champion of leave me alone plants. So the next time someone admires your beautiful aloe and asks what your secret is, you can smile and say, I do less. If this helped you, give the video a like and subscribe for more easy plant care tips. And if your aloe is already growing babies, those little pups at the base, you may want to propagate them next. Thanks for watching. Happy gardening. And I'll see you in the next video.